Hi everybody, it's Annette from The Art of Intuition, and today we are going to talk about our journeys alone or with people. Which one are we going on? Which path is the path for us? Maybe this way I want to put that. Which one feels right with your journey? Which one do you feel the most drawn to? And I will tell you, it's going to shift and it's going to change as you go through your journey, because we kind of have to be able to teeter on both. We're kind of going to have to be able to do both. We're going to have to be by ourselves, because a lot of this journey is disconnecting from everything. And it's hard to disconnect from everything when we are with other people. You can't really disconnect from the human existence when you're with other people. Now, this does have a lot more tweaks and turns if you have kids and live with a family and you really cannot live completely alone. But you're going to find your universe will maneuver your realities to where there will be parts of your journey where you are by yourself. There'll be parts of your journey where you're not around as many people, because we have to be away from people to really connect with ourselves. Because we keep having a lot of people around, we're going to continue to depend on people to answer our questions. We're going to have to depend on people and put our, I'm going to use the word faith. It's kind of, I think it's funny. I always think of faith as kind of a very disempowering kind of word. It's like, oh, I have faith. That's all we have right now, is faith. And we got a lot of problems because it's kind of like a wish and a hope and a wish, in a sense. You'll have faith, the reality will shift, but we're not actually going to do anything to shift the reality. So when we start looking at which is our preference, I spent a lot of time alone in my human existence. I spent a lot of time living by myself. So when I went into my ascension, I was still by myself, and I had people come in here and there, but pretty much I lived by myself for years and years and years, decades, by myself. So that was fine. I enjoyed that. But there was always a part where I felt like I wanted someone there. Now, when I went into my ascension journey and my awakening, pre-awakening, awakening, ascension, when I went into different parts of that journey, I still felt like, okay, I want somebody here. But I got to a point with my ascension where I started to really not want anybody there anymore. I wanted to be by myself. I want to be by myself because there's so much alone time you need in this journey. So when you're starting to go down that journey, and you saw a lot of the collectives go through this during COVID where they were kind of forced to be by themselves, their universe said, okay, that's it. You're going to be by yourself now. Or you saw the opposite where people were forced to be with people all the time. And a lot of relationships didn't really survive that because people realized that they don't want to be here anymore. So it was a good way to kind of turn people's realities upside down and kind of twist them a little bit to see, okay, where is this not going to really working? And sometimes when we're in our human existence and we're operating from our human ego and our human consciousness, we don't really want to look at what's not working. We kind of want to focus on what is working because it's easier than to focus on what's not working. But it caused people to really look at stuff that might not be working, especially in relationships and where we were living and who we were living with, or if we were living by ourselves. So you're going to go through a lot of different stages of this process. But what I have found is I can get a lot more done. I can process a lot quicker when I am alone. Because I don't have a lot of people in my field. And you're going to find when you have a lot of people in your field, you can't process as fast. Time collapses. That's a big one. Time will collapse on you where you look at the clock and it was 1 o'clock. You look at the clock and it's like 5 o'clock and you're like, what the hell happened in the last 4 hours? It used to happen to me all the time when I was with certain people. We would be like, what happened all the time? I feel like we had so much more time, but it collapsed on top of us in a sense because everyone is, if you are the highest vibrating, what's the word I want to use here? Entity is not the word I want to use, but it's the one I'm kind of keeps coming here. But when you're the highest vibrational frequency in the room, you're responsible to hold the field, which means no matter which way everybody's spinning, you got to continue to spin and bring everyone into you have to hold the reality, which means everyone's operating in yours. So everything that's happening is in you from really your perspective, in a sense, from your field. You have to hold that for everybody. And when everyone's moving a different way and everyone's spinning a different way anyway, and if someone's human, they're completely spinning backwards in a sense, the way you are spinning, then it's tiring, it's exhausting, and you're gonna find you can't get as much done. You just don't have the energy. I know I went through this last week where I really just, it was so many people. I really just could not, you could just feel it. I was exhausted. If you feel like yourself, you're exhausted all the time, and you're going to just start to feel it because your body works differently now. It's an energetic body. You're not, we have to start to separate out our bodies, our mental body, our energy body, our physical body, our emotional body. It's sometimes easier. I know we always talk about bringing everything together, but sometimes it's beneficial to separate them out and see, okay, what's struggling here? Is it my energy body? Is it my physical body? Is it my emotional body? What's going on here? Is it my mental body? What am I, does not feel like it's 100% right now. If I need to recharge my energy body, is my physical body need to rest? What do I need to do? So sometimes separating all that out, I mean, just really, is my emotional body trying to clear? What am I trying to do? You're really going to get a sense of where you need to be and who you need to be around and if you need to be alone. Normally, when you really need to be by yourself, I know this week I was completely by myself again because I went through the phase where I was by myself all the time. And I actually had sort of a program running where I didn't really want to be around people and live with people anymore. I had no desire to do it. And there was a reality that came up, which was going to, kind of, I had some, contracts I had to fulfill, in a sense, agreements I had to finish, and different realities I had to close out. And it's like, you need to go, be here. You need to be with these people. And I'm like, oh, I really don't want to be. my human thought goes, like, I really do not want to be. I really don't want to live with people. And it's also for us to learn after a period of being by ourselves. And I mean, like I said, I was by myself for years. Can you coexist with other people? But we coexist differently. We're not like humans. We're not all entangled. We're not all on top of each other. We can't spend 10 hours with people during the day. And if we do, you're going to really find your physical body, your emotional body, your energy body, and your mental body. You're probably, all the bodies are going to be at a complete overload because you need time alone. And from what I have found, how I have learned, we have to kind of relearn and remember, how does this work? I've learned to kind of be by myself even when there are people here. I have my own space. I'll go there. I'll shut the door. Sometimes I don't shut the door. I'm just by myself. And because the vibrations are so different in different parts of the house, some parts of the house I'm in, the vibration is really high, and I've set them very high. The parts I don't go in, because you do have to have respect for other people, because it's their vibration. I'm putting a lot of higher vibrational things in certain people's area, and an area where people are not in that space can really have all their stuff come up, and it can be very uncomfortable. So you have to kind of feel what's appropriate, so the places I go in the house are very high, and you'll notice certain people won't be in those areas of the house, because that's very disruptive to where their vibration is. They don't want to be in that, because all their stuff's going to start coming up, because everything of not that is not the vibration is going to start coming up to clear. So we just go through so many processes of, can we come together for a while, and can you go apart? But you're going to find even your together is different. Your together is not like you're together when you were human. When you go back to that, like, I think a lot of us will kind of be by ourselves for a while and then go back to trying to coexist, because there is a part of the journey where you do kind of start to coexist. The whole part of ascension and the whole part of unity consciousness is coming together with people. Even though it is a sovereign journey, until you get to a certain point, you're supposed to come together with people. That's kind of the whole, how we create everything new, right? You come together with people, but you'll find you'll come together with people that have that have the similar vibration. They've done a lot of the ascension work, or they're in certain parts of it, but they've kind of done a lot of the inner work already. And you're not, normally you're not going to be building those realities with unconscious people, because that's not where you are anymore, and you won't be able to do that. You might have to share a space with unconscious people for a while, because that's part of your process to learn. Can we hold ourselves to the highest? Can I show people what it means to be and operate as a higher aspect, as a higher consciousness? Can I bring that energy all the time, no matter how disrespectful something is, no matter how, the situation has morphed, and can I align everything? Can I always be my highest? Can I always come from that place? So it's a learning ground for us, and we have to go back in and see, can I do that and take the time for myself? When I'm looking last week at, I've been around people for too long, I'm kind of kind of like I'm melting. I can't, it's like I need to be by myself. I need to just sit in this room by myself for a while. And in that place, I couldn't really get completely alone. It was like people could leave the house for a while, and I had a chance to be by myself, either go or stay by myself. I'm like, I'm going to stay here by myself because I needed that. I needed that time. I needed those moments to kind of recharge a little bit, and it really still was not enough. And what you'll find is you'll kind of just burn yourself out in a sense, and you might get triggered very easily because you've kind of let it go. And we also kind of learn when you're in that environment. What I also could see was maybe a small amount here, a small amount there. I didn't realize how much it was draining me, so you're going to start to see that. So now I know I have to shift that. I can't be there but so long anymore. I'm going to have to shift how I go into that reality, or do I go in that reality anymore at all? So alone or together, it's going to be a mesh for most of us, because you have to learn to be both ways. But you're going to find you're going to really value being by yourself. I had kind of forgotten what it was like to be by myself, because for the past 6 months I've been in a home with other people. So it's like, oh my God, I totally forgot what that was like. And I'm like, oh God, I really miss being by myself. And it is, it's kind of like, boy, I really miss that. And so I definitely can see where I can see in the next few months, my universe is finagling, different weeks where I'll be, either house setting or visiting or going to different places where I will be able to separate and be by myself. So when your universe starts to present those to you, look at the opportunity. And it also kind of symbols to me. I also had a grand thing of, oh, I'm gonna get so much done, all this stuff I'm gonna do, and a lot of it has just been me not doing that much. Done a little here and there, but I thought I would do more. But that wasn't what it was about. It was about more of the recharging, and to kind of feel the difference. Feel the difference, and look how much more connected you feel. And not just connected internally, because I'm always connected internally, but connected completely to the field, and connected to my field to know when anything's moving around, or anyone is even in my field, or even every thought that happens. It's kind of interesting when you're completely alone, how you have so much more command, because all your energy goes into that. It goes into anchoring in higher consciousness. It goes into knowing what's going on in your field. It goes into everything around you. You can feel through your field. I know when everything's going to happen before it happens. I can feel the whole thing. But like I said, when you get around a lot of people, your body is just trying to maintain your vibration, because that's always what it's going to do. It's kind of the opposite in a sense of our human body. Our human body, a doctor would say, when your blood work starts to look off, something's been wrong for a while, because your body doesn't pull from the blood. Your human body's not going to pull from the blood unless it's really in a deficit of something. So when the blood starts going haywire, then it's something going on, because it's not going to do that unless it has to pull from the blood. It's not going to start pulling from this stuff unless it has to. So when your vibration, so it's kind of the same thing. You're going to be able to feel through your field, and when you're trying to keep the whole field up, because you're around a lot of people and everyone's spinning in a different direction, and we're not going to judge the way anybody is spinning. We're going to be around the people we know we're supposed to be around, and when it's time to exit, we exit. And we know sometimes we can't be around these people anymore, because it's not appropriate for us, for our body. Your universe is going to put your body's vibration paramount. When you get into your body is morphed, it's not just a human physical body anymore. Now you're an energetic body. You're an energetic being. That's much better than the entity word I was getting earlier, but you're an energetic being now, and it's different. And your universe is going to make sure it maintains that vibration. And that's the first thing it's going to do. So when your vibration starts to dip and you can feel that, then okay, I've been here too long. We're at DEFCON 1 at this point. I need to get out of this quickly, because I've been here too long and I'm starting to feel it. And I'm starting to feel it in my energy body. I'm starting to feel it. So don't feel like it has to be one or the other. like I said, you're never going to be able to be with people the same way again. You're just not going to be able to do that because your body needs to be by itself. It needs to recalibrate. It needs to clear your field. It needs to do a lot of different things. So even our relationships we do begin, they're different. They're not going to be like a typical human relationship. They can't be, because we are not in a typical human body anymore. We're now in we're an energetic body that needs a lot of space. So look at what you can do when you feel like, okay, this is too much. Really look at where your bodies are. All of your bodies, like I said, separate everything out. Feel what's going on here. That's really the what consciousness is. It's being conscious of ourselves, being conscious of what we're thinking, what we're doing, why we're doing it, what we're creating, what we want to create. We get more into creation. If we're not creating anything in a reality, why are we in it? And things feel hollow all of a sudden, and we don't want to be around and create nothing. We want to be with people who want to create, and that's what you're going to start being drawn to too. You're going to start being drawn to people that want to create something, and we don't want to stand around and everyone arguing over the human stuff or working through their human programming. For a while you'll help people do that. They're helping you work through yours, but there'll come a time when you kind of get tired of that. I don't want to sit here and keep working through human stuff all the time. I want to go create with people who have done the inner work and who want to create something. So you're going to start to feel the pull to do that. So don't judge which way you are, because some days you might feel like, oh, I can be around people today, and some days you feel like, oh, I really can't be around people today. And sometimes it's always good to have the open, honest communication with people about why. Because people are going to take it personally. I know when I came here, because I didn't want to hang out with everybody, everyone wants to take that shit personal, like, oh, you don't like us, or oh, you don't want to be around us. It has something to do with that. It's just, I have to be by myself for so long. I cannot be around all this stuff. I don't want to hear the news. I don't want to hear any of that stuff. I just have no desire to engage in human realities at all. I just don't. I'm going to do my thing, and we can always kind of come together and do some stuff together if it feels appropriate, and if I'm, if it feels like it's what I'm supposed to do for the day. But in general, I don't need that. But I could feel the people taking it personal, and they were taking it personal, and it's not personal. Sometimes it's good to just reiterate that, because someone who's really in their human conscious is going to take that personal. Like that's a personal thing. They don't want to be around it. It's not a personal thing. It's also bringing up all of their stuff, all of their insecurities about that type of thing. So, to be alone, to be with people, you're going to find it's going to shift and it's going to change. But just look at where you are with it. And don't be afraid to make the shift. If you've always been alone, but you feel like, okay, now I'm supposed to be around people, or you know what, I feel like I'm supposed to really be by myself for now. Don't fear that change. Don't try to control when you can really, don't try to control that out of fear. Because like I did a video on control and fear, and everything we try to control is because we fear something. What do you fear? Some of us feel like when we get by ourselves, we're never going to want to be around people again. And in a sense, that kind of does happen, but we realize it doesn't matter. We just are just as happy being by ourselves. We don't need other people to fulfill anything. Some days it's like, boy, it would be nice if I had another person around. Just sometimes but I realize it's just to distract me from, I've got stuff coming up today and I really don't want to deal with that. So you kind of can see when you want that. At least when I want that, I'm like, I kind of want to just be distracted for a little while because I don't want to deal with myself right now. So, okay. I think that covers it. All right. Keep practicing the art of intuition.